Let's talk about language learning today, guys. Let's talk about learning Japanese more specifically. People ask me all the time, dude, you don't plan to live in Japan for the rest of your life? You plan to move back to the States, but yet you're still learning Japanese? Why? What gives, bro? You should have given up after you graduated from language school. You're wasting your time. Well, I have a couple different mindset shifts. Oh, there's a pigeon trying to get at me over here. A couple different mindset shifts that I want to let you guys in on, and maybe you could gain some motivation or some structure from these mindset shifts that I use to continue with my Japanese learning. A lot of people say, like, I want to learn Japanese so I can watch anime without the subtitles on it. Well, they're 2 years in and they still aren't there, and they're like, you know what, I'm just going to give up. Don't give up, brother. Hear me out. I have a couple tips for you in this video, and the first one is I've kind of built my life around speaking Japanese. I talk about speaking Japanese on my YouTube channel. All of my friends are language learners in Japan. So many of my friends in Japan are Japanese people who just speak Japanese and they don't speak English. So I've kind of built my circle around speaking Japanese. When I interact with my Japanese friends, obviously we have great connections, and then if I go back to the US and then I come back here to visit again, do you think I'm just going to give up on Japanese learning and then I'm going to talk to them and be like, hey bro, so let's talk in English this time? So I've really built this circle of other language learning friends, Japanese friends, and they're kind of relying on me. It's not just all on myself. We have this system, we have this circle where everybody's lifting each other up and kind of expecting you to learn the language and continue. It's kind of like a gym partner who holds you accountable, but there is kind of like one caveat to just having a bunch of language learning friends. Odds are these people aren't native speakers and they're definitely not teachers. So in order to actually bridge that gap and have kind of a more structured plan for learning the language, this is where italki can come in. For those of you who don't know, italki is an online language learning platform where you can get personalized one-on-one lessons with native speaking teachers. Especially nice for those people who aren't actually living in Japan, because you can get real life conversation reps in as opposed to just doing like flashcards all day and going through a bunch of random apps on your phone. You can find a dedicated tutor who will create a safe space for you to start speaking through real conversations that you can actually use in your real life. And it's not just Japanese, guys. There are certified teachers of 150 plus different languages on there, and they may even speak your native language. So sometimes that's nice for the beginners who need a little bit extra help and someone that they can communicate in their native language with. So yeah, even from day one of your language learning journey, you can receive personalized one-on-one guidance from a native speaking teacher. And whatever your budget is, whatever your location is, I'm sure you can find somebody who fits your needs based on the pay per lesson plan and the vast selection of teachers all over the world in many different time zones. So this is what the italki interface looks like, guys. I have it set to Japanese because that's what I'm learning. We can see that there are 1,179 Japanese teachers on italki, all in different time zones all over the world. They have proficiencies in different languages, so you can scroll through some teachers like this, and then if you click on someone's profile, it'll bring you to their homepage where you can see an introduction video. You can choose to book a lesson with them. You can scroll down and you can find their time slots from where they're available. You can also see reviews from students they've had. If you guys want to see what a lesson looks like, I'll show you some footage from my lesson with Kos sensei here.
日本好
好きですか？コスさん。
きです。
和
私もいっ
食と
ぱい作ります。
洋食とどっちの方が好きですか？
どっちが好き？難しい質問ですね。
気分によりますね。And there you have it, guys, the simplest and most convenient tool for you to start your language learning journey today. All you have to do is click the link in the description or in the comments, use the code JAMES26, and you'll get $5 off when you purchase $10 of credits on your first lesson. But you gotta move quick because the discounts are only available for the first 50 users, so move fast, y'all. So yeah, I've really built so much of my circle in the last few years around actually learning the Japanese language, and it's, like I said, it's like a gym partner where they're not just there to give you advice or spot you occasionally. They're actually there to hold you accountable because you may not be the best at holding yourself accountable like I know I am sometimes. Mindset shift number 2, guys. You like how I do that with my fingers? This is how cool people say too, not like this. This is for weenies. This is cool. Mindset shift number 2, guys. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. I'm sure you've heard it before, but seriously, the way that I actually got into learning the Japanese language was I saw this YouTube video of this guy who was like, become fluent in Japanese in 6 months. You guys might have seen that video as well. And so I naturally got super into studying Japanese for like 3 months. I went super hard at it, and then after the 3rd month was over, I was like, I haven't made any progress. This is terrible. And then I gave up. And then I got back into it later. But when I had this mindset of like, oh, learning a language is something you can just do in 6 months, you just got to work hard at it, Yeah, not true at all. You're gonna let yourself down. If you have this goal of, well, I just want to learn the language so I can read or so I can watch anime without the subtitles on it, and you've been studying for a year or two, I'm sorry, bro, hate to break it to you, but I'm like 4.5 years into studying the language, maybe more than that now. And only like kind of recently have I been able to watch anime without the subtitles on. Well, okay, I watch it with Japanese subtitles sometimes, but like without the English subtitles, it took me years, man. It took a lot of time. So don't be that person thinking that you're just gonna knock it out and become fluent in a year or two, something like that. A lot of people who have become fluent in Japanese usually say that it takes about 6 to 7 years. And I know that sounds scary. I know you're freaking out right now, guys. It's not as bad as it sounds. All you have to do is reframe your mindset. Get a little mindset shift here. Okay, it's just not possible to learn the language in 2 years, become completely fluent. Instead, accept that it's gonna take a long time, maybe 6 to 7 years. It's just part of your journey, and you should not be comparing yourself to others when you're learning a language. The only person you really should be comparing yourself to is you in the past. So all the time I feel like, wow, my Japanese is terrible when I'm around my friends like Matt vs. Japan or Oshaberi no Joji, what was the name? Oshaberi Joji, something like that. I feel like my Japanese is terrible, but that's because I'm comparing myself to them. If I'm comparing myself to me 6 months ago, I always realize, okay, wow, so I actually have made some progress. And as long as I'm making some type of progress, I know that I'm on the right track, and I know that I should continue to keep studying and keep learning Japanese. And point 3, very closely related to point 2, guys. What was point 2 again? That's right, language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. If language learning is a marathon and not a sprint, how can we shift our mindset and create systems instead of goals to continue learning the language every single day? That's exactly it. Systems instead of goals. You guys may have heard of this before from Scott Adams. I recently read his book, How to Fail at Everything and Still Win Big. And basically he puts it like this. In your life, if you actually want to achieve something, you should have systems to achieve that as opposed to goals, right? If you need to get to point A and you say, well, I must be at point A at the end of month 2. Okay, so what happens if you do complete that goal? All right, I completed the goal. What do I do next? Or maybe you didn't complete that goal and then you're down on yourself, you're all sad, you're all bummed out, you're crying your little tears. Instead, you have systems, you have little things that you do every single day. That's why I like to say language learning as opposed to language studying. I'm learning Japanese, I'm not studying Japanese. Because studying, like, nobody wants to study Japanese, right? Because studying feels like, oh, I have to study for this goal that I have to pass the N whatever. I have to watch anime without subtitles. Instead, you create these systems and you just make it part of your life, and you're not thinking, okay, time to pull out the textbook, whatever. No, you actually create systems in your life every single day. And some of the systems, you guys have heard me talk about these on my Out the Mud vlogs. I talk about this all the time. Every single time that I ride the train, what do? I have like 30 minutes to kill. I could be doom scrolling on my phone. I could be watching people twerking on TikTok. Instead, what I do, I pull out my Anki cards and I just study Japanese flashcards. And then if I still have time on the train and I've finished all my Anki cards for the day, I usually do 100 a day, then I pull out my phone, pull out something on YouTube, and I listen to Japanese immersion content, native speakers speaking Japanese. Now, there are a variety of ways that you can go about implementing these systems into your life, but that's the key. Instead of being like, by this date, I need to be this fluent, I need to be able to read the Berserk manga in Japanese after 1 year of studying Japanese. Dude, I'm just gonna be honest with you, you're not gonna be able to do that, you're gonna be depressed about it. And then, hey, say you do, right? Say you do achieve that goal, and then once it's over, you're like, okay, what do I do now? If it's a lifelong journey, if it's a marathon and you have routines that you just do every single day, then it never ends. It's just part of you. Another one of my routines, I make it a point to see my Japanese friends all the time. Anytime they invite me out, of course, like, don't get me wrong, I love them. I'm not saying use your friends, guys, but I definitely recognize when you hang out with different groups of people, you gain things from them. Maybe you hang out with a bunch of people who are very business savvy. Maybe you hang out with a bunch of friends who are really into finance. Every single time that you spend time with them, you pick up a little bit of knowledge about finance. Every single time that I pick up some Japanese from my native Japanese speaking friends, I feel more confident in my language skills. That's just one of the systems, one of the routines that I have in my life, as opposed to saying, well, I need to be this fluent by this date. It's just part of my life. It's just what I do. Another routine or system that I have to learn Japanese every single day is I purposely go to a gym where it's mostly Japanese people there. And I'm not just at any gym where I'm like lifting weights by myself the whole day. No, I'm actually doing classes, interacting with people, holding mitts for people. I'm at an MMA gym. You can do that too, especially if you're living in Japan. Like, there's no excuse. Become a member of a club. Force yourself to interact with native Japanese speakers every single day. I also make it a point to watch at least 30 minutes of Japanese content every single day, whether it's a reality show on Netflix. You guys know I love Terrace House. Maybe I'm watching YouTube videos. My favorite YouTuber right now is Hosokawa Valentine. My favorite Japanese YouTuber. His videos are super interesting. I definitely recommend checking it out. Guys, even 30 minutes a day, just make a little routine. Don't be like, yes, I have to study. I'm gonna pull my book out and this is my time to study. No, just any free time that you have in your daily life that you'd usually spend doom scrolling, watching TikTok, doom scrolling Japanese TikTok. Watch some Japanese YouTube, watch some Japanese Netflix. You can find something to implement into your routine and create a system to where you're gradually picking up the language instead of feeling like you're studying every day and you need to reach these goals. When you have a routine like this, you're bound to be thinking, wow, I can't believe how much time has passed. I've been learning Japanese this entire time. Look where I am now, as opposed to thinking about the end result the entire time, which tires you out and kills your motivation. So, 3 mindset shifts to stay motivated or disciplined, if you will, in your language learning journey. Number 1, create your life, build your social circle around learning that language. italki is a great tool. Number 2, language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Give up the idea that you're going to become fluent in a language in 1 or 2 years. Number 3, systems, not goals. If language learning is a marathon and not a sprint, you should have systems, routines, small things that you do every single day that don't feel like studying for this goal that you have in the near future. Instead, it's just part of your life. It's just something you do. Those are my tips, guys. Link to the italki promo in the description and in the comments. All of my links are in the description. Hit your boy up. Young James is out. Don't forget you can become a YouTube member now as well. Thank you very much. Take care, guys.